Shadowboxing, the art of imagining an opponent. It's a mental exercise, a simulation of the fight to come. But what if I were to tell you that this concept extends far beyond the cage, far beyond the realm of combat? For are not all our fears and doubts, our insecurities, simply shadow boxers in the ring of our own minds? The fight happens before fight, literally. You are going through those situations in mind. What could happen? How would you react? So on and so forth. And those situations are crazy. You learn how to live with the fear.
Tomorrow I have a fight. I got the news about 4 days ago, which is pretty tight deadline. But you know, in the streets you got even tighter deadlines. Hopefully tomorrow I won't be very burned out. I can imagine the real fighters before their actual fight. Such a mental game, man. Because during the sparring sessions I'm pretty relaxed. But right now I'm in like people are watching and like it's called competition and it's pretty challenging. You understand that the karma will happen for sure. And those spaces are created for you to be open to any kind of outcome. Yeah, right now I'm gonna share the plan of the action. I'm alone, I don't have a coach, you know. The guy is has a Muay Thai background and pretty sure he will go for the low kicks. He will destroy my legs. He will try to destroy my legs, especially when he will take a look at my skinny legs. He will say that, oh, I will broke those legs, and he will start to attack. So I'm gonna practice to counter those low kicks, try to box my way out. At the end of the first round, I'll try to do the takedown. I'm not a good grappler, but I'm not a good striker either. Tomorrow I'll try to follow this plan, and the second round, I think the takedown should happen on the second round. Let's see how will it go, how good he is with the striking. Yeah, you always manage to improvise, you know. But the good plan makes your mind peaceful, and you should always have it. Today I just had a meeting with my corner person. Well, during the fights you need someone who sees the playground better than you, because you are in the tunnel vision, most probably if you're not an elite. So we discussed the game plan. He gave me very nice tips, and I'm more or less ready. I don't know, let's see. Another point worth sharing is I did kind of keto today, which made me sharper, and tomorrow I plan to do the same too. And somehow I believe that from the perspective of genetics, it's also backgrounded, because it gives you the animalistic boost. Because when you're hungry, you go hunting. When you eat carbs, it means you're settled, calm person. You don't need to harm anything or anyone other than the pests. You have to harm pests to have those potatoes or those grains or the corn or whatever. But when you are eating like a hunter, you are most likely to behave like one. So here we are. This is the cage. It's pretty much well lit. I think it's overlit. I've met my opponent. he's a 19-year-old boy, and I'm 36, and it's like fight between generations. Yeah, all those nervousness and the fears are reduced when you are facing the octagon. Actually, the fear comes out in the darkest moments when you're far away and when you are helpless, basically, to help it physically. But when you are able to interact with it and physically solve it, it's more bearable.
So here we are, first touch, and here we go. The fight is on. The very first seconds and the minutes of the fight are full of mistakes, a lot of testing and checking. So right now I just tested how easy it is to shoot for the legs. It went well. I realized that he's really good with the low kicks, but I was countering with the fists. It is pretty active fight. Now I was not in a good position, so that's why we broke. Yeah, he's having really good counters with those low kicks. I had this knee. The thing worth mentioning there is I'm overreacting to those punches. It's not that you're just thinking that, oh, I will do this. It's just instincts and the plan, also plan in the mind. You know, and it's really awkward to implement what you have thought, but you have to somehow integrate. If you strategize correctly, it is easier to implement your plan. And I think I did implement my plan. As you will see, yeah, I'm too careful, you know. Now the first shoot to the legs, first takedown attempt, and as you see, when I was doing it, I was just, oh, he's so strong, but apparently he grabbed the fence. But still, I was pretty burned out. I was not feeling strong, and right now I got countered. It was a pretty close call, but I rested here. I was worried to get choked, but I saved the energy. So the fight goes on. Yeah, that front kick is good to maintain the distance, but it's not an effective strike, basically. I'm really aware of those punches and I'm trying to avoid them. And overreacting, basically. Staying on the distance, switching the stances very often, and countering with those jabs. All those leg attacks of mine are countered with his own attacks, which is kind of mental establishment, you know. You attack with the legs, you will get destroyed. That's the message. You see, once again, that's the Muay Thai style, you know. So right now we are pretty exhausted, both of us. But still, I mean, you have to continue. Staying on the range, trying to jab from distance. Yeah, not bad at all, considering the very short notice. Like, I got notified 4 days before the fight. Pretty exhausted. Both of us are really tired. Yeah, it was a nice counter. But somehow my jabs are not that visible and hearable. Those low kicks sound and are visible. And I was trying to not to punch hard, you know. Also, like, really careful with those knees too, right? You can't knee on the face. So basically now it's the first round is over, and I'm really exhausted. There are lots of thoughts in these moments. You're thinking that your heart's not gonna make it. It will just give up. You're 36, you're too old, you're gonna die. You should make up your mind how far are you ready to go for this. Right exactly before that, I used to stay at the office late nights. I used to have those deadlines and I was working like crazy. So I didn't have time to hit the gym. I'm in my corner, boys. Miko and Dietrich, thank you so much. You are my friends. Right away, automatically. Even though I've met Miko one time before. I mean, if someone does that for you, goes in war with you, and participates in that, they're just friends right away. The second round, the boy came just to kill me, you know, and the referee had to warn us both to not to go into the massacre here. And we got stopped. The fight continues, and yeah, as you see, I'm gonna have some embarrassing moments in here. Those legs are pretty much destroyed at this moment already, which was expected, obviously. And yeah, again, overreacting. I mean, will need to stand my ground more to check those kicks and to not to overreact on those attacks, and to take one or to eat those punches. It's okay to eat one or two. You see, I'm just going back and countering with the jab, which is pretty effective but really exhausting at the same time, you know. So I'm just wasting twice as much as energy as the boy does. You see, like, right now, that's the embarrassing moment. That's the moment. It looked like a knockout or something like that, you know, when the people get punched in the face and they just start to belly dance. Ballet dance, not the belly dance. Those moments are what I was afraid of, you know, the most. Looking scared and looking embarrassed. But I got over it, so it's okay to run. The main thing is not to get punched, you know. When he overcommits with the punches, I'm just clinching. And right now I'm not trying to, obviously it's not allowed even in UFC. I think it is allowed in UFC, but not here, to punch, to knee on the face. But I'm doing the knee on the knee. Trying to work on that knee. And that's a really good counter. You see, he just gained the strength back and went for the takedown, which was nice. But I bet he could use this moment and dominate. It was such a great moment for him. I mean, he could just sit on me, rest, and punch my face. I was in panic at that moment. But he was warned not to go into rolling, not to go into VGG. Somehow they thought that I'm an elite grappler. But thanks to that, I just didn't get smashed. Right now I'm gonna have the slam moment, which is beautiful. Look, I mean, my opponent has really good wrestling skills, and that's the moment, that's the last 10 seconds basically, and all those punches were not visible just from the window, but it is nice boxing sequence from my side, and I just went all in, and we are exhausted. This is just a mental game. This is not a physical. This is just a mental game, you know. Who is willing to invest more? Who is all in and who is not? Who came for what, right? That's the motivation. Overall, I think it was a nice fight. Even to watch, I had all those really embarrassing moments. I had lots of gaps with the takedown, with the grappling, lots of things to work on. We're both really tired. A lot of respect. But yeah, as you see, like right here, I was really surprised. Of course, I knew that it was a close fight, but I still was thinking that my opponent would win.
Okay, so here it was. My first cage fight. For me, it was just an experiment. Just another form of meditation and connecting to myself. Only pressure makes you understand who you really are. After this micro hell imposed on myself, I'm enjoying the environment. It's really hard to explain the condition I'm in right now, because I can barely walk. My both legs are really damaged, but it feels so good that I overcame this. It's so cool, man. I mean, these tiny achievements are necessary in life, which doesn't happen without putting yourself out, and this growing up process is never ending. As you see on 36, it doesn't matter if they would pull up my opponent's hand. I would feel the same, because I went there and I did it. Feels amazing. Thanks to weather too. Whoa! Spring around. Cheers. Love you all. Take care. First of all, if we're not during the fight doing something that you think we would be doing, it's most likely not allowed with the rules. I mean, I don't have an ambition to be a professional, obviously, so don't judge it as a professional fight.